a Mexican balloon. Don't
Drop the beat.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beat Drop, the last one of the season. Excuse me while I mute and unmute things. A little discombobulated tonight, as not only did tonight's match start a little earlier than expected, but was also speed ran by reminiscence to that quick 3-0. So normally we have a little bit more time to work with. So when we're getting set up for the evening, but nevertheless, the show must and will go on. As you can see, my wonderful co-interviewer tonight this way, Apathy. Welcome, Apathy, to your first and unfortunately last time on
Yeah,
BeatDrop
thank
season
you.
7, because
I
it's
waited till the very last episode to show up.
save the best for last. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
So welcome. Glad to have you helping me out tonight. We have 4 amazing interviewees tonight, but before we go ahead and get started, folks, I do want to say that today is a very special day in the United States. It is Veterans Day. As a veteran myself, it's something that I really like to show a lot of reverence for personally. So if you wouldn't mind just taking a couple seconds with us and just honoring those veterans that either are in the chat on social media, we'll just take a quick moment of silence to be able to do that. All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Like I said, we have 4 amazing interviewees this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Apathy right to the Lions to start things off for us. Our first interviewee tonight is a military veteran and has a long-standing career on many teams and well-known orgs in the Tranquility community. Boop, Jetpack Cats, Flashbacks, and now support of Ragnarok Fenrir. Every time they take the stage, you are going to be melting in your seat from seeing their sweet face. So welcome to the Beat Drop, Vila.
Hey, Vila, how's it going?
Hey, pleasure to be here. Thank you all for having me.
Of course. Now you are a well-known cinephile, or a horror cinephile specifically, in our community. You've got some not paraphilia? What's the why can't I think of that word? You've got some
Paraphernalia? Is that
knickknacks.
the
You've
word?
got some horror knickknacks in the background we can see right there. So what is it that really interests you and gravitates you to that genre specifically?
I mean, even at a younger age, I was always into, like that media and that, just movies that were kind of darker, things that, more macabre kind of elements, even though it's kind of a overused word, but things that really manage to be, emotionally impactful in that way, that can really pull your heartstrings or really, make you excited, make you afraid, make you, very wary of different things. And, it's always something that really stood out to me. And it's always been something that just really grabbed my attention, even at a young age, even, when I was too young to really be able to sit and watch it. And it would have me running to the backside of the couch or off to my room in terror. But, I was always really into it.
hmm If you haven't done it yourself, I like to watch movies with Vila. He often invites me to these out to watch horror movies with him, which is very, very fun. It's so interesting to be
Everyone's
able
welcome.
to watch a movie and then just listen to him talk and the depth of knowledge that he has about like the history of how these movies are made and the impacts that they had. It's really cool to watch a movie with him and then just learn all about movies, as especially as a movie lover myself. Um, what would you say is your favorite non-horror, one of your favorite non-horror movies, though?
Oh, favorite non-horror.
hmm
Edgar Wright's Hot Fuzz is a great movie.
Agreed.
That's always one that I can sit down and watch like at pretty much any time. It's so funny, it's so clever, it's so subversive, and I love that. It's a very clever parody of cop buddy action comedy movies, while itself actually being a very good cop action movie where it's got very fun action and plot twists and references and jokes. It's just incredible.
Yeah, my favorite is also an Edgar Wright movie. Baby Driver is definitely one of my favorite movies. So very, very good director. Now, you are also a pretty big fan of football and MMA, and
Mhm.
also having watched these games with you, you really have a lot of knowledge about these other more traditional sports. Does any of that knowledge of being able to read things that are going on in football games or MMA fights, does that translate at all to your Overwatch ability, especially with coaching, the way that you can read Overwatch team fights the same way you can a football field?
Um, I don't know if necessarily knowledge would transfer over, but sometimes there's like terminology that will carry over.
Hmm.
Like one thing that isn't super common that like I say a lot when coaching is like I use the term alert, which is just like, you make a team fight plan and you go in and then something that just suddenly happens that like you couldn't plan for, that you couldn't anticipate, and like you just got to capitalize on it. It's like that to me is like what I call an alert, which like I learned through just football stuff. And like sometimes I'll say like blown coverage or something. If it's like somebody that comes around on a flank and nobody was watching that flank, nobody was anticipating that. So it's more so sometimes I let like terminology slide over,
Okay.
as opposed to it being a thing where I feel like a lot of like knowledge itself is universal.
Gotcha. All right. You are also one of the lucky few in the Overwatch Tranquility's esteemed Hall of Fame. That name has been immortalized in our community's history. So, what is the meaning behind that name, Vila?
Um, when I turned like 17, 18, I started to just get really big into like learning more about like astronomy, constellations, and everything. Um, I would just like go out. I lived in a rural area where there was like very little light pollution, and I would go out a lot as like a teenager, and I would just kind of like stargaze and look and kind of identify different constellations. And so um, when I was younger playing Xbox Live, as you often do, you typically rename yourself every 5 seconds.
Hmm.
And I got to one point where I wanted like sort of an astronomy kind of themed name or one that was after like a constellation.
Okay.
And Vela has always been like one of my favorite constellations, not for any particular reason, I guess, but I don't know, I just kind of liked it and made a name about that. And I kind of wanted like a very short, simple handle as well
Hmm.
to go with like whenever I went online somewhere. And then like also just like with it saying like Vila, it's just like not super common, so I'm able to use it in a lot of places. But yeah, I just wanted something that kind of was in theme with like astronomy and constellations.
Yeah, it's nice because it's not one of those immediately recognizable ones unless it's a hobby of yours as well. But then also when you describe it, it's pretty cool. It's like one of the lesser known constellations, but all the
Right.
constellations are pretty cool, even the ones that aren't fancy shapes like a horse and whatnot. Um, Speaking of horses, what would you say is your favorite animal, and what is your favorite shape and day of the week to enjoy them on?
Is it supposed to be like on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite color of the alphabet? Is
No,
that the point of
it's
this?
it's a very directed question to a certain day of the week and its associated animal.
uh
I know it's a cheap
Flat Fuck
lowball
Friday.
question. Yeah.
No, it's okay, just the phrasing. No, that was good though, it took me a moment. Gotta love Flat Fuck Friday. We're almost there, everyone. We're almost there. Can't
Yeah.
quite say it yet, but a very preemptive happy Flat Fuck Friday.
All right. Last question I got for you, or one of the last questions I got for you. Another cheap lowball question. I'm sorry. Who do you say was your favorite support partner that you have played with throughout the seasons?
Oh, that's tough. There's not that many because
Hmm.
I've coached in a couple seasons and I played off tank in season 4. So um, I mean, it really is a toss up between Nines and Gusty. Both of them were very supportive. Both of them were very good at recognizing when I was kind of having a low and kind of talking me up. Again, just being very supportive and I feel like really recognizing me, kind of understanding my personality and working well with me. Um, I really don't think I can choose between the two. They were wonderful to play with, and I would love to do so again.
Yeah, Nines was, I agree. Being on that team, Nines was very fun to play with. Just a bit of a emotional rock for that team at times. Not all the time. Sometimes he needed us to be his rock, but when you needed it, he was always there.
Right.
We've got some questions from chat now. So from Glitch, they want to know that you're a big Candyman fan. How did you feel about the rebooted version that came out recently?
Oh, that's a really good question. Take notes, everyone. These are the kind of questions I want to answer. I can't go as much as I would like because we'd be here all night. We got 3 more people who want to be interviewed. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty good. It took some elements from the original that I thought were pretty good. I liked the decision to carry on with like the continuity and the plot the way they did with like baby Anthony now grown up. I think the biggest issue, I also thought like it was just shot well. The music was good. It was lit well. Like I think like all like the technical aspects were great. Definitely much better than you typically see in a horror movie. But I think my biggest issue is that at least for me, it just really wasn't scary at all. Like I remember sitting in the theater and actively thinking to myself, like, wow, like this is really like not scary at all.
Gotcha.
Like some of it almost bordered on funny. But no, I mean, all in all, I thought it was pretty good. I would recommend.
All right. Now, another question from chat. Asdo wants to know who is the best football?
Atlanta Falcons. I'm surprised they got that off with a straight face. I'm a Falcons fan. Please pray for me. Pray for us. Our entire existence is pain. So I would greatly appreciate any sort of help there.
Bird Bros. I'm an Eagles fan, so that's kind of close. Lastly, we've got Phantom wants to know what is your favorite topping to put on a sandwich or burger?
Ooh, on a burger? I mean, I'm pretty simple. Usually on a burger, just like ketchup is the only real condiment that I really like. And on a sandwich, normally I don't roll with like condiments. I'll just put like chicken or cheese or whatever and just kind of eat it like that, normally without like an actual condiment on it. So usually only for burgers, not really for sandwiches for me personally.
Gotcha. All right. Lastly, we've got your special random beat drop episode. If you were question, excuse me, if you were a brand, what would your motto be?
Oh God. I'm not good at things like this. I think I saw one thing that was like invent a tagline, and like I can't. Like, oh God.
Then what about what
It
is
would
one of your
be-
favorite brands taglines or something if you can't think of one?
I did like the Mio one from a while back of just squirt some. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know why that was always funny to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's an interesting direction to take for a flavored water there. All right. Well, with that, thank you so much thank you so much, Vila, for hanging out with us on the Beat Drop tonight. Glad to get to know you even more. Yeah, next up, we're gonna have Be Well, the support player for the fire-breathing rubber duckies. This player is as bad as the "an apple a day" voice line. Welcome to the Beat Drop, Be Well.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I can't hear him.
And I'm muted.
Oh, there we go.
I was working on stuff.
What's going on, man?
Hey, not much at all. Glad to have you here. Was kind of going for a be well apple a day joke in that
I like
intro,
it. I
but
like
you
it.
know, it is what it is. Not all of them hit, but hopefully the crowd likes it. But nevertheless, like I said in the chat earlier, folks, if you have any questions for Be Well during the interview, as well as any of the interviewees this evening, be sure to be putting them there in the chat. Your question could be asked on tonight's episode of the Beat Drop. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Now, Be Well, let's go ahead and get this out of the way early. Fire-breathing rubber duckies. You got taken out very early on in the tournament.
Yeah, that was unlucky.
First week of elimination round. Very unlucky, despite looking to be one of the strong teams after the preseason that we were expecting to kind of make it to the end. What was kind of like your all's experience? You know, this is your first season in Tranquility. I think some of the players on your team or the GM or coaches or whatnot have been in Tranquility before. So what was kind of your experience this season?
Yeah, we had a few vets on the team, but overall it was extremely positive. I wish I knew that there was a community like this before this season, but yeah, I liked it. It was a fun season.
All right. Well, I mean, we have to ask, do you feel that we'll be seeing the fire-breathing rubber duckies quack back in season 8?
Not the same team. That's
Well,
so
that's pretty
some of us
standard.
have gone our separate ways, but
Understandable.
yeah, no, definitely. Like
Awesome.
Night Night is still running that team. Phenomenal coach. He will definitely be bouncing back.
All right. So definitely haven't seen the last of those quackers just yet, folks.
No,
So be
not even
expecting
close.
them to come back in season 8. Now, from one of your teammates, we kind of got to look at how you typically are during matches or scrims, and they said you're not just a support; you are the support of the team. All about that PMA, spreading out all the goodness that you possibly can to
Of
keep the
course,
team up and running.
of course.
What is it about that attitude in competitive Overwatch that you feel is kind of a key to your success?
Well, I am a very competitive person. You know,
Mhm.
I love winning, but at the end of the day, I just love competing. So winning really it's definitely a plus, even when you lose, like you have stuff to learn. That's kind of my mentality on it. But at the end of the day, like this is a Overwatch team. Game's not exactly in the right life cycle right now, so I'm just trying to have
Yeah.
fun and make sure everyone else is too.
Yeah, we could probably speak the rest of the night just on that topic
Yeah,
alone.
no
But we
kidding, no
won't.
kidding.
But we're told that you're also a great manager of like extreme stress. So, what are some of the strategies that you use to kind of get back in the game when you find that you and your teammates are kind of cornered and you don't know what to do?
Well, the communication is key in a time like that, and I'm a very vocal player.
All
And
right.
like if I don't think something's gonna work, I'm gonna speak my mind on that.
Hmm.
Whether or not people agree or do it is kind of on them, but I'm always offering suggestions on things that we can improve on, and just trying to make the team better overall.
That legitimately feels like my Xbox Plat comp games. So I
Pretty
totally
much,
feel that.
pretty much.
So, do you feel that? So, you just said that Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies going to be going through a rework in the off season. Some players have
Yeah,
left, so you'll be looking to fill those spots. Um, do you have any players kind of already in mind? Have you started recruiting for next season? I know we haven't really released when next season's going to be because we were waiting on like Overwatch 2 and yada yada. So, as you
I
super pixelated on me into the oblivion that is OBS Ninja.
I am actually off of fire breathing rubber duckies right now.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
you're actually hunting down a team for next season. Is
We
what
have
you're telling
found
me.
one. I am on the
Oh,
uncoachables with a few Strix players and a few FBRD players.
the uncoachables.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Right.
quite a team name. I gotta ask, do you have a coach?
As of right now, not really.
Okay.
So
just wondering, some teams they live up to the names that they set, some teams not so much. So I
right,
wanted to clarify for the audience, make sure. But that's good. That's good to hear. That's definitely good to hear that you're moving on and we'll still see FBRD in the next season. That's great.
definitely.
Some more information that we ended up getting. Um, about you from your teammates said that you're a lover of the good old pigskin. So tell us a little bit about that. When did your love of football start?
I started playing football very young. I have been a football like player since before I could even walk. Like all throughout middle school, elementary school, I was playing. High school, played a few good seasons, ended up getting hurt, but yeah, I've always had a passion for football. It just makes
Gotcha.
sense to me.
All right. Do you feel that well, let me just ask, when you were playing football, what position did you play?
I was a free safety.
Okay, I have no idea what that means, and maybe the audience doesn't either because I'm not big into sports ball. So could you explain kind of what that position does?
Yeah, my job is to cover the long routes and make
Okay,
sure I'm kind of like the last line of defense.
Gotcha.
breakout plays.
So if anybody's running that hard line down the right or left side, you're the one that tackles them into oblivion.
They'll be me and me.
Got it. All right, totally understandable. Now, do you find that through your football experience, I imagine that's where some of that competitive nature comes
Oh,
from.
absolutely.
Do you see any of those kind of like overarching strategies used in like regular sports kind of crossing over into how you not only play but kind of evaluate your and your teammates' play in Overwatch?
Yeah, definitely. Well, both are team sports or team games, so that definitely helps. But
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has their role to fill,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it translates very well from football into Overwatch with all that.
Gotcha. Now, as we're starting to wind down to the end of our question, looks like we do have one question from the audience from Try. They want to know, why is Drug your favorite teammate?
Drug is the best. Drug is the best. No, he really is. He's just this great guy, all around easy to talk to, and he's a phenomenal DPS player.
Awesome.
Great kid,
Drug,
great kid.
a phenomenal guy. Gave me no info for your interview. Just throwing that out there. Asked for it.
Thanks, Drug.
Was like, nah, B-Well's good. Don't need to talk about him or anything. Nevertheless, before we go ahead and wind up your portion of the interview, got a couple more questions for you. Now, of course, the big questions that are always on the table is the tournament itself. So we have 6 teams currently remaining in the Harmony tier, and I'm not for certain how well you've been following it, but the last 6 teams in Harmony to compete in the playoffs over the next couple weeks are Luminous Foxes, Flashbacks, Koala Kings, Chrysalis, Frost Nova, and Sky Guardians. Some of those names kind of expected. Some of those names really unexpected.
Agreed.
Looking over the entire gamut of the tournament. So, in your opinion, what 2 teams do you believe will be seen in the playoffs?
Flashbacks, 100%. I think
Okay.
Flashbacks was easily the best team in Harmony, and honestly, if that team right there went up to Discord, is it Discord next?
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly think that'd still be a top 3 team.
Okay.
Interesting. Sky Guardians gave us a run for our money too, like week 2 or 3. Like they steamrolled us, so I can see them getting there too.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a coming to Jesus moment during the knockout series. Got a little too big for their britches. Ended up in the lower bracket, but so far they've been kind of hanging on by the skin of their teeth, taking a lot of really close series, but still coming up on top. So I would say that is a very based prediction. Flashbacks versus Sky Guardians, definitely 2 of the stronger teams of the 6. But honestly, any of these teams could make it all the way, to be completely
100%.
honest with you. Flashbacks maybe a tier above, like you said. Of course, as we know, the Nostalgia org has all their levels, so they just rotate people into the next team at that point. But Flashbacks has shown season after season that they are still going to be a very dominant force. So let me go ahead and check the Twitch chat here real quick before we head to your final question. And it looks like we ain't gotten anything, so we are going to get to that random question. So I hope your brain is ready. Now, B-Well, would you rather fight one elephant-sized pigeon or 50 pigeon-sized elephants?
Definitely 50 pigeon-sized elephants. That seems pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie.
What would your plan be?
Well, I'm a tall guy. I got the range of my feet. I think I'll make it out of there perfectly.
Okay, you think you could just kind of kick them out of the way? I mean, you gotta think.
Yeah, I mean they're pigeon sized.
They're pigeon sized, but they are elephants though. Like they're still kind of stonky. Might not be as easy to hunt as a pigeon. So
that is valid. That is valid.
But nevertheless, okay. So you think you'll just walk away unscathed, be able to get away
Yeah.
from them?
I like my odds there.
All right. So we will see. Should the day ever come, we will test that theory. But until then, we just have the beat drop to be your record of how you would succeed. So
True.
thank you, Be Well, so much
Thank
for
you.
being on the beat drop with us tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out? Anything else you'd like to share with us before we let you go for the evening?
No, I think we covered a lot here.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Next, we have to throw it over once again to Apathy and our next interviewee of the evening. They are the main support of the Luminous Foxes, currently lighting the way for their team to make it through the playoffs right now. You could say that they are indeed tossing all teams for a loop right now. Welcome to the beat drop, Cucumber.
How's it going? I'm Cucumber. Oh, you're muted, Apathy. I can't hear you. There you go.
There we go. So is it there's that extra E on the end. Is it cucumber or cucumber, like French?
Okay, so sometimes I say it's like Spanish or French to mess with people, but I just put the E on the end and it's like pronounced cucumber.
Okay.
Cucumber. I'm fine with either.
All right. So I know earlier in the season you were on a quest to join every public trank org server. Have you accomplished this, or how close did you get before giving up?
I think I have like 10 servers right now. I want to
Okay.
say like around that, but I don't think I got like all the trank servers. Like some
Yeah,
servers are just
those are rookie
privated,
numbers.
so I can't. Yeah, rookie numbers. So
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
scrimming you, and then after the scrim in chat, you were like, "Hey, let me into your server, please." And at that point, like, my server was still like pretty new. It was like mostly just close friends and people that I knew with a couple randoms in there. And I was just like, all right, well, invite me to yours too. So it's been fun to just be chatting back and forth. It's always nice to be in all these different servers and just seeing how people kind of interact on their home turf. And especially all the nicknames that they have in their own server. You can't tell who's who
Yeah.
because they all have these crazy nicknames. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting seeing like everyone how they talk to each other and like you said in different servers. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's very fun to just jump around between server to server, check general every now and then when I'm bored at work.
I like to lurk a lot, so I
Yeah.
don't text a lot, but I definitely see like what everyone's saying.
So I also heard from I think Scene that you are the best and highest ranked gamer at your school. Does being homeschooled help with that? How does it affect your gaming in general?
You know, yeah, I would say I'm the best gamer at my entire school at
Yeah,
home.
that's something to brag about, you know?
It is. My brother actually used to be like way higher than me in Overwatch in SR,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah. So I actually got into Overwatch because like I saw my brother playing it, and there was like a free weekend. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. So I bought it, and like yeah, a while later I joined a team, which has been fun.
Nice, and eventually surpassed him.
Oh yeah. He's like plat. I'm 3.3 right now, I think.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun. Does it Is it make it hard being is it easier being homeschooled when you just, you can kind of do your homework at any time, it lets you kind of game during the middle of the day, or is it sometimes more difficult than being in a traditional school, do you think?
Well, okay, so I was in public school until like 5th grade, so I don't remember it too well, but I feel like with homeschool, I definitely can do my work at any time I want. So I can like sleep in, I can like be on Overwatch late and still do my work. So I do think that it does help me being homeschooled.
Are the queue times better in the middle of the day when all the idiots are at work or school?
I think they're about the same, honestly, because
Yeah.
there's still people staying home, but like the people staying home are probably like the really tryhards who are still into Overwatch and just like not, they're just staying home, you know. So, yeah.
It's too saturated with throwers for the time of day to really affect it.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've also heard that you are a pickleball player. What is
Yes.
that? What is
Okay.
pickleball?
So pickleball, I like to explain it like tennis, but
Okay.
on like a smaller scale. Like it's a mix between tennis and tabletop tennis or whatever. It's not like a small, obviously, it's more tennis. It's just a smaller court. It was originally like these dudes invented it, like tennis, but for old people. So it's like
Okay.
a small court. It's usually like 2-on-2. Here I got a paddle here. The paddles look like this. This is my paddle. So they're
Is
like
it
just
mostly
giant ping pong
volleying?
paddles. What'd you say?
Is it mostly like volleying? Like, does the ball, is it still a 2 bounce to score, or is it 1 bounce to score and you're volleying a lot?
Yeah, it's definitely volleying.
Okay.
There's like a kitchen thing where it's
Hmm.
like you can't get too close to the net. That they did that so that you can't like spike it or whatever. Because like
Okay.
it was meant for old people, so
Mhm.
you don't have to move
Hmm.
around a ton. But I like to do solos because it's like a lot more like the tennis experience where you
Mhm.
get to run around a lot and get into the mind games of the tennis thing. But in duos, it's like you have to rely on your teammate a lot.
Is there actually like a place that you can play that? Like,
Yeah.
is there
Okay.
like a league around, or like a bunch of courts around your area where you kind of just play pickup games, or how do you like find people to play with?
So I moved to where I am right now, which is in Utah, which has like a ton of pickleball courts around me, thankfully. Back in like Massachusetts where I was, there was only like one. And then we set up a pickleball court in like my driveway. And it's like, yeah. But I usually just play with my dad because he's like really into pickleball. And
Hmm.
he's who's got me into pickleball. And yeah, we're just partners in solos. But there are some places so it's like a public court, right? So there's like 4 courts in one area. So sometimes people will ask you, hey, do you want to do a duos match? And then yeah, that's basically how you do it. And there are leagues. It's just that they're far and few between, I think. I haven't
Gotcha.
joined one.
I see. Oh, that's pretty cool. Just being able to go to a park and play a pickup game for
Mm-hmm.
a bit of an obscure sport, no offense, just like something that not everybody quite knows of or like plays all the time. And it's really cool that they're still
Yeah.
able to find places to play that with different people. You guys recently had a big run through the lower bracket to make top 6 and hit our championship bracket, so congratulations for that. And that
Thank
included
you.
a big revenge game against the Palm Beach Poggers, who were the ones who knocked you out in the first place, I believe. So how
Mm-hmm.
did you guys manage to bounce back from that original loss and especially get revenge on the team that took you out to make it to championship bracket?
Okay. So a lot of this is on my team and a lot of this is on my coach scene,
Hmm.
which he's correct. He's like the best coach. Anyways, so when we got eliminated in like the upper bracket, we were just like hard molding. We thought like, wow, we should not have won that. I mean, well, we should have won that. Like we were just throwing super hard. So from then on, we started like doing a lot more scrims. We started like 30 minutes earlier to like talk about what we're gonna do in a scrim and do that kind of thing. Uh, One of our main goals was to actually like take revenge on all the teams we lost to, because we also lost to Firefight, I think. No, we lost to Strix. That was okay.
Hmm.
Strix was the one that we got really mad at. They played
Yeah.
really well, but we definitely could have played better. Um, but yeah, we improved super hard because we really wanted to get in a championship bracket.
Hmm.
So we were really looking forward to the Palm Beach Poggers match.
Nice. So that dedication was really important for bouncing back. Of course,
Definitely.
I've believed in you this entire time. One of the
Yeah.
original Fox's believers. Um, so, of all the teams still competing along with yourselves, but let's say not including yourselves, what 2 teams do you think can take it all the way to the championship?
I'm not gonna say flashbacks. I don't want to say flashbacks because I think what's gonna happen is flashbacks is gonna like. So they lost 2 maps already. Like last map, I think they're gonna be like, "Oh, we lost 2 maps." Like that's gonna hurt their mental a bit. So they're gonna like maybe slow down a bit. So I think uh, if Frost Nova beats us, they could have a chance at flashbacks, honestly, and that'd be really
Okay.
awesome. So I think Frost Nova, and then Who's in the upper part of the championship
So
bracket?
the other side is going to be Koala Kings, Chrysalis, and Sky Guardians.
Okay, it's gonna be Chrysalis Frost Nova. We had like a warm up scrim with Chrysalis before the Palm Beach Poggers map. We got like a ton of good stuff from that thing. So it was like warm up diff, honestly, against Palm Beach.
Gotcha.
So Chrysalis and Frost Nova, that's who I think are gonna get to
Those are your 2 picks.
the finals.
Those are some spicy
Other
picks,
than
yeah.
Luminous. Yeah.
All right, we've got some
Controversial.
questions from the chat now. Nerfed wants to know, what is your favorite music genre?
I'm part of the Hannah Montana fan club, but my actual favorite genre is probably like alt rock.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like what
But
artist would you say? If you had to recommend one for the chat to listen to.
Okay, if I had to recommend one, I'd say Muse. They're semi-popular, but I feel like people I meet don't actually know who they are, so they're just like a fun band. I recommend their older albums, so like their newer albums are kind of weird.
They've had some
So
songs like on the radio, right? But like
yeah,
people don't really remember them for their band name. They just kind of remember that one song.
hmm
Because that does sound familiar to me.
Yeah, Muse is like they usually have 1 or 2 hit singles on an album, and then they're like the most poppy track of that album. But I like the more alternative parts of them. So like,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, we've got a question from Phantom. Do you like pickles?
I do like pickles. I like pickles
That's
and
the second part
cucumbers.
of your name, right?
That is part of my name.
Hmm.
I had to shorten it though because of Overwatch being too
Yeah.
long.
Gotcha. All right, and lastly from chat, we have Try. You kind of already answered this, but like he says, so if Luminous Foxes was one of the teams to make it to the championship, what team would you want to face?
I want to go against Chrysalis again because they're
Gotcha.
really fun.
Yeah, that's a good answer. All right, do you have anything else that you would like to share?
Like shoutouts?
Yeah, shout outs or just anything at all. Anything that your teammates didn't inform us of that you think is interesting, or just people that you want to shout out.
Frost Nova, we're coming for you. It's gonna be a fun rematch. Okay. So Frost Nova, we were in a previous tournament together and we beat them. So
Was
we
that
really want to
Owlet?
go against each other. What was that?
Was that Owlet or
That was, I think, Rose Cup, and
Rose
then
Cup?
like we beat them. So we're like
Mhm.
super excited that they're in the championship bracket and that we actually get to face them.
Yeah, that'll be a fun rematch. I think your roster has changed a bit since then too.
It has.
That'll be very interesting. All right.
Mhm.
And lastly, we've got the random question for you before we head over to our next interviewer. What do you think is the most useless product that exists in our world today?
There's a lot of useless products. Maybe not like one singular product, but it'd be cool if there's a product that combined a bunch of dumb products that shouldn't be different. Like I want a product that combines conditioner and like shampoo and like body wash or whatever, like or maybe like
Okay.
body soap. That'd be awesome.
So like a 7-in-1,
Yeah,
just
like a
all hygiene
7-in-1. I
thing.
would love that.
Could use it as toothpaste too.
Yeah. I would
That
love
would
that.
be interesting because I think a lot of people already slander the use of even the 2-in-1s. They're always talking about proper hair care. You got to use one of each.
They are hair elitists. That's what they are.
Gotcha. You're not a hair elitist?
No,
I see.
I'm not.
I'm
I
not
do have
either.
long hair though.
Surprisingly, I'm not a hair elitist.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to throw it over to our next interviewee. Thank you so much for joining us, Cucumber. Lastly, we have got Anguish, the DPS player for Flashbacks in the Harmony tier. Another distinguished member of Tranquility, a true gamer at heart, has their mouse and keyboard in just about every type of game you could think of. And you could definitely say it's a hobby of theirs when they're not deadlifting their team to victory every single week. Welcome to the BeatDrop, Anguish.
Hey, we back again. Anguish, how is it going?
It's going. Another day.
All right. Let's go ahead and get on into it. And as we've said every time, folks, if you got questions for Anguish, blow up that chat. Last interviewee of season 7. The distinguished honor is all yours, Anguish. So from joining Discord tier in season 5 on Lightspeed on either off tank or main support. Apparently, I have got conflicting info.
It was
from
both.
multiple
I
people.
played
Oh,
both.
you were literally both. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I swapped about halfway through the season to main support.
Okay. That hence the conflicting information. All right. So, flexing a little bit in season 5 on Lightspeed. You've really become a well-known name in the Tranquility community. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey, kind of like how you found Tranquility, and kind of how it's been participating up to this season?
How I found Tranquility was actually a really funny story. So I met Beepo through one of our mutual friends. I had just gotten back into Overwatch in season 17. I started playing again pretty good. I just hit plat again for the first time, and then I was just climbing on support all the time. And Beepo was like, one day we were just queuing comp, and he was like, "We're still looking for an off tank and this and that for the team." I was like, "Well, I could play off tank. I mean, Zarya is the only thing in meta right now," which I think it was at the time. And
Does
he was
make it a
like,
little
"Well, you
easier."
could try out if you want." I was like, "Sure, why not?" And so I made the team. I think it was 2 or 3 trials. I don't remember exactly. And then I joined the team, and that was a pretty fun adventure for a while. And then we hit a roadblock where I think we were having roster issues with something, and I was just like, "Well, I can play main support, and that's not that hard. I've been already grinding support prior." And so we found another tank, and then I swapped over to main support. And that season, I think we made it. I think we were just outside of playoffs. I don't remember for sure. We either got knocked out early or we're just outside of it. And then after that, I was like, I don't really want to play tank anymore. I'm either going to play support or DPS. And I kind of made up my mind. I was like, I just feel like playing DPS. Maybe do something a little more flashy and enjoy it. And that's when Flashbacks was looking for players. And I mean, I'd already trialed for 3 or 4 teams, and it was one trial done, or they'd forget I even showed up to trial and not even put me in all night. I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess.
All right.
And then I went to the Flashbacks trial, and I was just surprised because I was offered to come back another day. And I was the first team that actually had done that for me. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I'm actually half decent.
All right.
And I ended up making the team, and it was actually it was a really fun season. I got to play with Vix, Apathy, Train, Blood Hungry, Nines. It was Vila. Everyone was just amazing. I probably have never had a more fun time playing Overwatch than with that group of people.
Awesome. Well, speaking a little bit on that, 3 seasons in Tranquility, that's a little over a year and a half now that you've been here. What do you feel kind of keeps you and other people like you around for so long?
I think what keeps people around for so long is the actual community. I've never felt my entire time in Trank, I've never felt there's not a team that won't at least be like, hey, you didn't make it, but thank you for coming out. You feel welcome no matter where you go for the most part. Yeah, you run into that occasional player who's kind of I mean, I have the same personality. Sometimes you just think they're kind of a douche, and it happens. I mean, everyone's there's always that one person there.
Yeah,
I'll admit I'm that person from time to time. I know the way I sound.
I feel that. All right. So, continuing kind of on this line of questioning, what do you feel makes Trank so unique compared to other organizations that exist at kind of the tier 4 level?
I think what makes Trank unique is the amount of community interaction that it has. I've been in some of the other Discord servers Elo Hell. I've been in the Owlet one. I've been in a lot of different ones, and when I see the interaction with the community, I think Trank probably has one of the closer knit communities between admins and the player base. They actually try to get stuff done together.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what makes it more unique than any of the others.
Gotcha. So it's more of a cooperation between the two levels than, just the people running the tournament and then the people participating. That's
Yeah, you
awesome.
actually get feedback, which is nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all about that feedback. Now, as you continue to speak so highly of tranquility, I was asked to ask this, and you don't have to divulge your reasons or anything like that, since we're just kind of springing this on you. But you are well known as one of the larger philanthropists of tranquility community fundraising. Like, I don't think that there's ever been a time that I can think of that Anguish does not pop up at least, I don't know, a good handful of times during event week, our preseason thing that we did this season. Why is that? Why do you feel that, why do you feel the need to give back, I guess, to the community in that way?
I think this community has given me quite a bit. Before I joined, like, I know I said I was just getting back into Overwatch and really starting to grind again. That was ending pretty quick. Yeah, the gold and plat community. I mean, if you wanna end your Overwatch career, just stay in gold and plat. You will want to quit the game, uninstall it.
It's only been 26 seasons.
And Trank is the only thing that's actually kept me going, because I always look forward to, okay, during the off season, what am I going to work on to help improve to make myself look better for another team? Or what can I do that will help maybe push that next person who's just getting into like competitive play within tournament style stuff? Like, what can I do to kind of show them, like, hey, this is a community that you can be a part of that isn't going to shun you and push you away for wanting to win.
Okay.
Or not being, the same superstar, show up all the time, like your name's in the kill feed 99% of the game, no matter which side it's on, type of player. And I think by maybe giving a sub here and there, or donating to a really good cause, like during event week, we've got the RAD. Like, I think that's a great cause to be supporting, and I think that'll show other people the community is there.
Yeah, I definitely can concur with you on that. Last season, I gave quite a bit myself to Rise Above the Disorder, and I'm it was a very nice number. That was a well thought out ahead of time, but planned. Whether or not it was planned, it was more so. I see people that are fundraising for Rise Above the Disorder all the time, but as you said, raising money specifically here in Tranquility and just kind of showing the power of community, I think is lost a lot of the time in other tier 4 communities. Like, they run a tournament and they want to have a good time, but that little extra, that little something that just kind of keeps the community together. Like, even if nothing was going on, even if we didn't have a tournament going on, even if we were still kind of waiting in the wings about Overwatch 2, which until recently, like, we didn't know when season 8 was going to be starting. And I mean, that's still kind of in the air should anything change between now and then, but more than likely we'll see it come back in the spring. But even when stuff's not going on, like, we know that if nothing's going on necessarily tournament wise, the community has something going on. People are always doing pickup games, people are always doing scrims or recruiting people or just doing all sorts of fun games to just spend time with one another. And as restrictions rise and people are able to travel again, I know this weekend, as a matter of fact, I'll get to meet some amazing people from Tranquility that I would have never gotten to meet before if I wasn't here. So I think a lot of what you talked about right there is really important to kind of the overarching importance of Tranquility. It's not one person, although we do appreciate Cavalier for continuing to grind, keeping everything held together with duct tape and bubble gum as he does, and all the amazing admins and mods that do all the work that they do, and all the folks in the various shows that we now do. But it comes down to the community. That's really the glue that kind of holds everything together and keeps things running. So, and moving on a little bit, according to our sources, your energy is unmatched. which may be up for debate if you've ever heard me say fat shatter. So we'll see. But they feel that you must chug gallons of energy drinks 24/7. But I have to believe, well, that Dr. Pepper's not an energy drink. I gotta believe that it's natural. It's about the personality. So what would you say is kind of the source, or kind of how you come to develop this really explosive, fun personality?
I don't really know because I've never been too social outside of like my gaming.
Oh,
Like I always did sports and I would like get along with people, but I would never really be that explosive personality. I was always really quiet, kind of sat in the back. But I feel
Okay.
like I want to be social. I just don't know how.
Gotcha.
And it's always just been a weird thing for me. Whereas I feel like online, it's like if I get told to shut up, okay, well I'll just shut up for a few minutes. not that that's ever, Cap has ever yelled at me to shut up and I've just kept talking over him or anything.
See, I knew Cap was around. I saw the air freshener in the background, and I figured you were
That's to fight him
fighting off Cap, the Cap stank. But yeah, I mean, I definitely can understand the difference in personality. I mean, I know that this was especially during COVID times that we're still definitely in, that it's been nice to kind of release my actor side while casting, which is why I've kind of gotten more into it. So it kind of like allows, not only does it allow folks to be a little bit different of a person than they are in everyday life, but it can allow people to kind of explore areas that maybe they were constricted in or didn't have access to due to various life situations. That's one of the many reasons I believe that gaming is so amazing. Now going a little further on your personality, I'm not for certain if your team was sharing that with me as a positive or a negative, so I'm gonna flip it as
be taken either way.
I'm gonna flip it as a positive, Anguish, and ask, how do you feel this supports the teams that you play on when it comes to like your team's mentality?
Every season's been pretty good. I mean, everyone hits that point where they kind of mold a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and once you get through that, it's usually fine. I mean, I don't think I've had a team yet that lasted more than like 1 or 2 scrims, maybe, if even that long. Sometimes it's just 5 minutes of being silent.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I want to remind folks, be sure to be getting those questions there in the chat, as Veiled Potato saying molding. Nah, no,
Yeah.
we don't
We've
mold.
never had me mold right before a game because we were just playing like bronze players. Never happened.
It depends on what kind of bronze players you were playing as. Were you playing as bronze players, or were you playing pretending to be bronze players? That's the question.
We were doing our best reenactment, that's for sure.
The best reenactment of bronze players. All right. So I have to say that strong personalities, I feel, are only well matched with physical strength and or work ethic. And learning a little bit about you as we were doing our research, you are IRL a highway maintenance worker, which is a really unique occupation to me. Not very often do we see highway maintenance workers on the list of things that people are doing right now. So I gotta ask, what got you into that profession?
It kind of interested me from a younger age. I lived in the Midwest for 14 years, and you'd hardly ever see them just because it's kind of spaced out. I've always lived in rural areas. And then I actually was out in California for 5 years for high school. I did my 4 years and then stayed with my grandparents for an extra year.
Okay.
And they kind of gave me the option of go to school or move out. And I had family out here, and I was like, school is not for me.
Okay.
I spend way too much money to drop out.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I'll just go out there.
Okay.
And I saw that the highway department was actually looking for people. So I was like, oh shoot, I'll apply, see what happens. I don't have, too much job experience other than working at a movie theater and cleaning pools. Like,
okay.
and I've been doing it for 2.5 years. This will be the third winter.
Wow. Now you kind of already described a little bit about, this is something that you've kind of enjoyed from an early age. What about about the job kind of piqued your interest so early on?
Well, for one, it was always the smell of the asphalt. For some reason, I just love the smell of like freshly, like it fresh made asphalt, like it just got dumped off the truck onto the mixing strip for us. It's just got such a rich and like, I don't know, a beautiful smell to it is the way I would describe it.
Okay.
And other than that, it's just like being able to like do something that will help generations.
Okay. Paving the way for the future, no pun intended.
Quite literally.
Gotcha. Now, do you feel that this is kind of like a stepping stone for you, or like are your aspirations set higher than this? Like, do you have something in mind that you would really like to be doing, but you haven't quite achieved it yet?
What I'd really like to be doing I would love to get to a point where I could quit my job and become a full-time streamer. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've been interested in. I stream from time to time. I take way too long of breaks, so I'll never get affiliate. But it's just something I've always aspired to do. Like I've always wanted to be a content creator, but I've never had as much of an avenue as I think I need to kind of shoot off into that without maybe having, that blockage of, hey, you made no money this month.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that. If it wasn't for my support from the VA, I'd probably be finding myself in a lot of questionable positions. This is not a glorious or well-paid work being on the content creation side. But needless to say, that kind of leads into my next line of questioning, because as we said in the intro, you are a gamer, like not just an FPS gamer, but like a well-rounded gamer. You play just about everything when it comes to genres. So start laying it out for us. What genres are on the Anguish_OW playing list other than FPS?
Oh shoot, where do I begin? I got MMOs, FPS. I play Minecraft from time to time. I just started New World recently. Probably gonna pick that back up on the stream again, maybe. I played WoW for longer than I'd like to admit. Call of Duty, I just got the new one. I won't stream that. My local is not very
not very
friendly, I must say. Growing up with two Navy parents, yeah, if you ever stop by my stream, you will hear things that you won't want your kids to hear. So be forewarned.
It's all right. I'm a Navy vet myself, so my kids have probably heard things they don't want to pass on to future generations either. I feel that. Awesome. So, are there particular games that you enjoy playing to kind of wind down? Like, what's your kind of go-to, like after a difficult Overwatch match, or coming home from work? What's the go-to to wind down and relax?
I actually play quite a bit of Path of Exile. As much of a pain in the head as it is to fully optimize what I want to do in the game, it's actually very fun. And a lot of people like shy away from it because when they look at like the skill tree in it, they're like, holy crap, this is massive. There's no way I could figure this out. Yeah. And it takes 5 minutes and you manage to figure it out pretty well.
Interesting. I think that's one of the 200 some games I've downloaded from Games for Gold over the years. And it's never been one that I've looked into, but now I think when I get back home, that might be one of the ones I start looking into. So thanks for that. Now, of course, we have to ask you the question that we've kind of been asking everyone in the Harmony tier tonight, is that of all the teams still competing, Flashbacks included, the rest of those teams being Luminous Foxes, Koala Kings, Chrysalis, Frost Nova, and Sky Guardians, which two teams do you feel we're going to be seeing in the championships this season?
I think we are getting a season 7 rematch of the preseason finals of Koala Kings versus Flashbacks.
Really?
Koala Kings doesn't talk a lot, but they are a very, very good team. Anyone who is underestimating them, play them first, and then maybe we can talk. Play them over 5 times in 2 seasons, and then we can talk about how good or bad they are.
Yeah, I mean, that is the reigning champs right now from season 6, so you definitely have some big shoes to fill to try to take them down, despite the fact that they've some of their players moved on, some transitioned down from Discord tier.
I think their team this season's a lot stronger than even last season's was.
Yeah, so it's definitely an uphill climb. So I wish you all the best. It looks like we've gotten a couple of questions from the chat. That's just rude. But I'm gonna ask it anyway because I know that it's just folks from nostalgia. Try ask Anguish, why are you so old?
Why am I so old? I don't know. Ask my parents.
I mean, I guarantee you Anguish is younger than I am. So, I mean,
I'm 22 for those who want to know.
Oh,
I'm gonna be 23
man,
in January.
you're
I'm
on
not
the
even
cusp.
that.
You're on the cusp of like gamer boomer status, Anguish.
My back already hurts.
Well, like we said in the intro, carrying your team all the time. That's
oh no, I don't care.
It hurts.
I'm just the clutch player. I don't do anything special.
Okay. Now Glitch asked, wants to know, why do you have the most based trank opinions?
Because I have no filter, and I will kind of tell you how I feel. If I think your team is bad, I will tell you your team is bad.
I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to.
And I'm going to be honest, anyone who's heard me on a stream during a game day, yes, you know I talk a lot of crap. And I will continue to.
All right. Cry asked, why did you come up with or change your name to Anguish? I can't say that I remember what your name was before this, so you'll have to give us a little bit of exposition.
So this account has actually been through, I think, 7 or 8 name changes over the years. In season 5, I was actually playing on my girlfriend's account at the time because mine wasn't high enough for Discord tier. So I was like, "Hey, you haven't played in 3 seasons. Can I do the placements and play?" She's like, "Sure." I quit.
All right.
After that, I came into season 6 with Flashbacks, and the name was originally my account name was Maz because my last name, and then I went through like 4 others, and then Corrupt Fox for a while, and then Anguish is because I had a 6 stack with my friends, and we all had different ones that all kind of went together. We had like the love hate, the I don't even remember what they all were at this point. It's been a while. And I just stuck with it since because I was just like, yeah, people are going to still call me by it whether I change it right now or not. So It's just kind of stuck.
All right. And it looks like we have one last one from the chat, a combined question from Chooster and Asdo. Will we see the Anguish DPS in Discord tier, or will we be seeing you bring back the Nails or Rhine in season 8?
I can say in season 8, I will not be moving up to Discord tier. I will be bringing out the disgusting main tank again. It's been a few seasons, but I was a Rhine main at one point, and I must say that it's.
I don't know if you want to go back there right now. Ryan's not feeling so hot.
Oh, I can play more than Ryan. I'm a horse enthusiast. I love to get the monkeys that think they can jump and then pull them right back down to the ground.
Gotcha. So battle cattle for days. I like it.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
Cattle.
All right. So last question. Got to give you your random question of the evening, and based on all your based opinions, I think that this will fit very nicely. What is one thing that you yourself believe in and believe to be true that very few other people do?
I'm not really sure, because a lot of people, when they start to hear my opinion, kind of don't reiterate theirs.
Okay.
So I don't really get to compare opinions too often with people.
Okay.
So I really don't know how to answer that.
Well, is there anything that you feel is, I guess, kind of out there compared to what most people believe, so to speak? Like I know for myself that if we were to go the religious route, I'm agnostic, not very popular by most people. Especially in the United States, but I just believe there's kind of something out there, maybe, that did something to make all of us here. So,
I'm kind of in
um,
that same boat, I guess. Like
all right.
I do and I don't believe in all that. Like sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm
It's
just like, I leave people to their opinions, and if they leave me alone without trying to force it down my throat, I'm like, all right, we're cool. We're cool.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that very much. It's just karma is a bitch, though. I will
Oh,
say
yeah.
that. Nevertheless, no matter what you believe, karma is a B for sure. Anguish, thank you so much for being with us here on the Beat Drop and
Thank you for
helping us
having me.
finish out the season. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, or anybody that you'd like to shout out before we wrap it up for the evening?
I just want to say that if people think losing 2 maps is going to slow us down, be prepared to catch hands, because after losing, we kind of come back a little bit stronger. I don't know if you noticed, but after a 0-4 to Frost Nova, not really being our fault, we haven't really lost hardly at all. I mean, we kind of hold a grudge, so not a good idea to underestimate us after a loss.
All
Like,
right.
losing maps is L.
Everybody get geared up. Flashbacks be ready to throw hands. All right. Thank you so much, Anguish, for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and swap back on over to Apathy so we can go ahead and close things out. Hey, Apathy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It was a
This
fun night.
It was a fun night, Apathy. Want to give a special thank you to our interviewees for the night, Vila, Be Well, Cucumber, and Anguish. Couldn't have done it without you. And Apathy, thank you so much for being here and helping me out on the last night. It's always nice to actually have someone to like bounce things off of instead of like talking to myself. That's not usually good for anybody, especially myself.
I've always wanted to get around to it. I'm just usually busy on Thursday, so I'm glad I was able to get here for once.
Hey, no worries. And of course, the Beat Drop will more than likely be returning in season 8. I mean, we have no idea what anything is going to look like then. There is a couple of changes that are going to be coming to Tranquility in season 8, but I definitely would love to keep this version going. And if you support the Beat Drop, Tranquility, and all that we do, be sure to be hitting that heart, punching that bell, subscribe if you got the money to do so. $4.99 or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime sub. Be sure to do it on a PC, folks. Don't do it on your phone. Don't give Daddy Bezos or Gates that extra $1 through their app store. Either that or a Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime sub. It gives you access to amazing emotes made by our community, as well as just support the community through all the giveaways and stuff that we do. Apathy, is there anything else that you would like to shout out or talk about before we sign off for the evening?
No, I've got nothing. I'm just excited for next week's matches.
Yes, same here. And you might be wondering why we're canceling the beat, or not canceling, but ending the Beat Drop so early. It's because we figured typically the playoffs, when it's first to 4, best of the best, tends to go like 7, 9, 10 matches. It's kind of midnight, so we figured you wouldn't want to stay around to watch another set of interviews, or no one would want to be interviewed around midnight to be on the show. So that's why we're ending it a little early. But thank you for everyone that has watched the Beat Drop this season. As always, if you have any feedback, be sure to be reaching out to me on Discord. We're always looking for ways to make things better, and if you'd like to be part of the team for next season, go ahead and contact me that way as well, and we'll go ahead and start getting you in. And we're going to be changing things up in the backline as well to try to make things a little bit more, a little bit smoother now that we've got the big transition from what the beat drop used to be pretty ironed out. So from Apathy, myself, and the Tranquility community, thank you so much for watching the Beat Drop, and we'll see you all next week.